point, what we want to do is very briefly, we've heard from a lot of people up here and on panels and people speaking, but we wanted to invite very briefly people from the audience. I believe that mic there is working to actually, it's just very briefly come up and come to the mic there and kind of state why you came today. Like, what did you hope to gain from the experience? And then we're also going to have a panel kind of respond within the context of the same struggle, same fight. But after we kind of get some feedback from people who are here on, how they found out and why they came today and what they were looking forward to. So, I don't know, we can do it by a show of hands or people can just go up. I'm not exactly sure how folks want to do it. You want to go by hands?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do hands. Anybody who'd like to volunteer, we can just call them off in some type of order. Because we don't want it to be, all kind of telling you. We want to kind of hear from people about why they came out today and what they hope to accomplish. So any volunteers? And we have one right there, so you can go. I think that's working.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, I'm Evelyn, and part of the reason I'm here is because I'm not from the area, and I'm very, very, very curious. I'm originally from California, San Diego, and growing up in the 80s, I was very blessed to have a good public education system. California was really good. Being a daughter of immigrants, came from a war-torn country, good K through 12, graduated college, that sort of thing. And just it really breaks my heart to see schools all over the place declining. And as the one gentleman said, it's all over the country. It's no particular area. It's not a New York thing. It's not a West Coast thing. It's everywhere, which is disheartening. And so I find it really inspiring that I see you all here motivated to do something about it, because I forget what the exact quote is, but what is it? It's more of a tragedy when innocent people don't speak up. I forget the exact quote, but I think you all know the quote I'm talking about. So curiosity and wanting to know what you all are doing, and that's pretty much it.
That's fine. Thank you for that. Anyone else who like to lend? I guess what drove them to come here today? Gentleman in the back is coming forward.
Good morning. My name is Rogers. I do some work with the National Action Network Education Committee with the Equal Employment Council. My concern being here today is the children who are, I'm talking about graduates now, not dropouts. Almost 1 million of them every year, secondary as well as college, put into the pipeline. They come out with a diploma, and then they are fodder in a capitalist system. I have to state I am an anti-capitalist. That's my bias. I think that what is happening is that unless the children can produce profit for the oligarchs, those children are not seen as being significant enough to give good education to. And that's part of what we have a problem with, and it goes back certainly philosophically as to the purpose of education. If we are not producing children who produce a profit for the plutocrats, then those children are not worth the time and the attention. We have to challenge that, because the idea, and given the Kawahida theory, talks about children lifting up the community. A child is not allowed to lift up the community unless they can produce a profit for the decision makers. And we have to challenge that. I think that's part of why we're here. Yeah. Our children are not profit-making tools for the oligarchs, the plutocrats, the Bloombergs and their friends, the Koch brothers, and that's where we come into conflict with them. They push those 1 million children, another 1 million every year, coming out with a diploma, and unless they can produce profit for these corporations, they're not attended to. We have to say those children are valuable to us, and the profits for those corporations, profits be damned. We are concerned about our children uplifting our community. And that's the community control, I suppose, the language of 2012 to update what Brother Wayusi was talking about. We cannot have those corporate persons deciding that our flesh and blood persons are irrelevant. And that's what brings us together, I think, today.
Is there anyone else who'd like to offer about why they came today? We're over here. Could you come around the mic, sir?
Hello, my name is Joel Shatzky. I've written for the Huffington Post on education issues, and I'm hoping they will actually print the Post my report on what's going on here. My analysis is similar to the gentleman who spoke. It's a matter of power and who has the power, who's controlling the power. The middle class, white, and mostly Asian community is living in an educational bubble of their own. They are getting, at least according to their adequate supplies, they're getting the kind of education their children need in order to be competitive, or in order to be able to get into good schools. And they are the ones who could push the buttons for Bloomberg. Unless they are made uncomfortable and well informed about what's going on in the rest of the city, the power that they have to influence Bloomberg is not going to be utilized. So in addition to a People's Board of Education, there should be, or probably has to be, some kind of mechanism to connect with the people who have been inoculated, so to speak, from the consequences of these disastrous programs. To give you an example, I have a relative whose son just became part of a chorus that went to New York from Los Angeles to perform at Carnegie Hall. There was some kind of competition. The parents at this public school raised the money so that every one of these 60 children could be sent by plane from Los Angeles to New York and back, stay at a hotel, first-class hotel, and see 2 musicals as part of the package. Now, what kind of wealth are we talking about that enables these children to have an opportunity when the children in many of the districts in which your children live go to school do not have adequate supplies and books to even have a chance at an education? So my question is there any outreach plans to alert in a dramatic way what is going on for those who have, at this point, the power to make the influence on Bloomberg?
All right, we'll definitely table that question for a second, and when we open up to the panel, we'll see about responding. We have another gentleman who would like to speak.
I just wanted to talk about what Bloomberg and the education reformers have done. They certainly recognize that the race issue, and they have made sure to make inroads into the community, especially through charter schools. Just take Eva Moskowitz, for instance. She has organized, when you go to any meeting, there are hundreds of people of color who are there to support her program, and they bamboozled numerous numbers of people into that and divide the community, and they are selling what they are actually selling with their version of what they're trying to fool people that they have a people's board in their own form. Oh, look, you can control your. It's a school. We're giving you choice, and you're not getting choice in the monopoly. They're calling the monopoly old school system. They're offering in some places the most horrendous thing called the parent trigger. And I think that this group has got to recognize that there is competition out there. The parent trigger is being presented as, oh look, your parents can take control of your school, but it's the corporate interests that are backing them. That is very divisive, but I think that this organization cannot just put forth a people's board without recognizing the alternatives that are being pushed by the corporate and to divide the community and confuse the community. And I think it's really important that as part of this process to take a strong stand against not just to stand against charters, but to explain to people, especially to go into those communities where they have made inroads and explain what this is really all about. That parent trigger is really not going to give you control. Charters don't allow parents to really have any control. You have to sign a contract that but doesn't give you a contract that you can control your school. I think it's a really important factor that we should not neglect.